Good morning, student. Today we are going to study about the context of the present book of macroeconomics. What and all the things that has been covered under the macroeconomics. In a capitalist country, the production activities are mainly carried out by capitalist enterprises. So in capitalist economy, so they are talking about the capitalist economy. Why they started with the capitalist economy in the macroeconomics? Because in last class you have seen after the Great Depression of the America, the macroeconomics concept came into existence. So they are talking about the capitalist economy mainly carried out by the capitalist enterprises. When it comes to capitalist economy, the major works are done by the capitalist and enterprises. The government will be in the favor of the enterprises, entrepreneur. A typical capitalist enterprises has one or several entrepreneurs, people who exercise control over the major decision and bear a large part of the risk associated with the firm or enterprise. So here they are talking about what is capitalist enterprises. So what does it mean? The capital enterprises has a one or several entrepreneurs. So in the capitalist economy, they are having plenty of entrepreneur who will control the major decision and take a huge risk. Why they take a huge risk? Because they invest lot of money in the production process. They can earn profit or they can get the loss, but they will take a risk that is called as entrepreneur. So here the major decision will be taken by the entrepreneurs. They may themselves supply the capital needed to run the enterprises, or they may borrow the capital. So they can use their own capital if they're having. If they're having the money with themselves, they will use that money. In case if they are not having sufficient fund in their hand, then what they will do? They will borrow the money from the banks. Third point, explaining that. So entrepreneur ಅಥವಾ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾನ್ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ? ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ತಗೊಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇಕಾನಮಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ರಿಸ್ಕ್ ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಹಾಗೇನೆ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಇದು ಫೋಕಸ್ ಯಾವ್ದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರುತ್ತೆ? ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಯಾರೆಲ್ಲ ಆಂಟ್ರಪ್ರನಿಯರ್ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೇನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಒಂದ್ ವೇಳೆ ಅವರ ಹತ್ರ ಸಫಿಶಿಯಂಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಹಣ ಇದ್ರೆ ಸೊ ಅವರೇ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಅವರೇ ಆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದ್ ವೇಳೆ ಅವರ ಹತ್ರ ಸಫಿಶಿಯಂಟ್ ಅಮೌಂಟ್ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಸೊ ಆಗ ಏನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಲೋನ್ ಅನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಆ ಬಿಸ್ನೆಸ್ ಅನ್ನು ರನ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಬಾರೋ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ಕ್ಯಾಪಿಟಲ್. To carry out the production, they also need natural resources, a part consumed in the process of the production. Example, raw materials, and the part fixed. Example, plot and land. To carry out, to start their business, to continue their business, they need a natural resources. They need two kinds of natural resources. One is raw materials. Another one is fixed materials like plot, land, buildings, this and all the fixed. These kind of natural resources are required. So plot and land, it is a natural resource. Raw materials are the natural resources. Sometimes it is man-made resources. And they need the most important element of the human labor to carry out production. To continue their production, they basically need the important one. The important person is the human labor. Macroeconomics deals with aggregate economic variable of an economy. So macroeconomics basically study about the aggregate, means overall. It is a study of the overall of an economy. It also takes into account the various interlinkages with may exist between the different sector of the economy. So it study about the what and all the connections are there between the economy. So when it comes to economy, it include primary sector, secondary sector, tertiary sector. Primary sector means agriculture, secondary sector means industry, tertiary sector means it is service sector. All these three sectors are interconnected. So the economy studied about macroeconomic studies how these sectors are interlinkage. That means how it is connected to each other. This is what distinguish it's from microeconomics. So this is how it's separate from its microeconomics, which mostly examines the functioning of a particular sector of the economy, assuming that the rest of the economy remain the same. When it comes to the microeconomics, you have studied many theories that may be demand, supply, law of diminishing marginal utility. In that, what they will do, they will take any one specific area and they will study about that, and remaining area what they will tell, they will take it as a remaining constant. We will use the term called constant in the assumption. But when it comes to macroeconomics, there are no assumption. That is going to study about the economy as aggregate. Macroeconomics emerged as a separate subject in the 1930s due to Keynes. In 1930s, after Keynesian theory, the macroeconomics came into existence as a separate part. Before there was no division between microeconomics and macroeconomics, and macroeconomics was not playing that much important role. But what happened after Keynes in 1930, his book is written. So after that, the macroeconomics started separately. It was separated from the microeconomics. The Great Depression, which deal below the economics of developed countries, has provided Keynes with the inspiration for his writings. What they are telling here, the Great Depression, with which dealt below the economic of development. So you have seen what happens in the Great Depression of the America, where everything was closed down, everything was below the marginal level. So that time, the Keynesian books, his books made an inspiration for the public. So his books started to play a major role. And they said the government role also is an important one. And how to come out from that problem, how to solve the problem of unemployment, which is not given in the microeconomics. In macroeconomics, it's deal with the unemployment, investment, and other concepts. So his books or his writings made it a important one. It started to influence the people. It started to influence the economists think in a different way. In his book, we shall mostly deal with the working of a capitalist economy, because he is from the Western countries, and most of the Western countries are capitalist economy where they give more importance for the entrepreneurs. So in his writings, we can see the importance, like the work of capitalist economy, how it should work, what is the role of the government, that and all the things which are explained under his book. Hence, it may not be entirely able to capture the functioning of a developing country. It is not completely capturing the functions of a developing country. It is not giving all the solution for the capitalist economy. But some of his theory playing an important major role in the economy to solve the unemployment problem, investment problem, aggregate demand, aggregate supply. All those concepts are playing a major role. Macroeconomics sees an economy as a combination of four sectors. So in macroeconomics, it is a combination of four sectors. So they will ask for one or two more questions. What are the four sectors in the macroeconomics? That is household, firm, government, and external factor. This is not four factors of production. This is the four sector in macroeconomics. So factor of productions are different, four sectors are different. So factors of productions are land, labor, capital, entrepreneur. But when it comes to the macroeconomic sector, there are household, firm, government, and external sector. So far, we have described the major player in the domestic economy. So we have studied who and all plays an important role under the microeconomics, how the firm will work, what is the role of one household. But all the countries of the world are also engaged in the external trade. We have studied only about the internal, within the country, what and all the things happen. But at present situation, it not only deals with the internal economy, but it's also deal with the external sector. External sector means it is having a relationship with other countries also. The external sector is the fourth important sector in our study. The external sector also are going to be play a major role. How? After liberalization, privatization, globalization. When it was introduced, it was reintroduced in 1990. You have studied about the liberalization, privatization, globalization in the first year. So the liberalization, globalization and privatization also plays an important role. That is called as a fourth factors of the macroeconomics. The trade with the external sector can be of two kinds. There are two kinds of external sector. First one, the domestic country may sell goods to the rest of the world. These are called export. So there is one concept called export. Export means what? The domestic country sells its goods and services to the rest of the world. From our country, we are selling the goods and services to the other countries, that we will call it as a export. So India is a famous for export of spices, then saris, then reshme, then wool. These are all the things which are exported from India. The second one, the economy may also buy goods from the rest of the world. These are called imports. Other than the export, there is another concept, import. Import means what? Now we are buying the goods and commodity from the rest of the world. If we are selling the goods and commodity to other countries, then it is called as export. If we are taking goods and services from other country, then it is called as import. ಸೊ ಏನು ನಾವು ರಫ್ತು ಮತ್ತೆ ಆಮದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೇವೆ. ರಫ್ತು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ನಾವು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶದಿಂದ ಉಳಿದ ದೇಶಗಳಿಗೆ ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ಮಾರಾಟ ಮಾಡುವುದು. ಆಮದು ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಏನು? ಉಳಿದ ದೇಶದಿಂದ ನಾವು ವಸ್ತುಗಳನ್ನು ನಮ್ಮ ದೇಶಕ್ಕೆ ಪರ್ಚೇಸ್ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಳ್ಳುವುದು. So that is the difference between export and import. Besides export and import, the rest of the world affect the domestic economy in other way as well. So what they are telling, the domestic economy in other way as well. So it is not affecting only in export and import, it is going to affect in another way. Which way? That is about the capital investment. The capital from the foreign countries may flow into the domestic country, or the domestic country may be exporting capital to the foreign countries. So here Sometimes what happens through FII, foreign institutional investment, foreign countries come and they will invest in our economy. And the same time in India, we are also having an opportunity that we can invest our money in the external sector. We can spend our money, we can invest our money in other countries also, that both options are available. This investment also plays an important role. So not only export and import, capital investment, capital transaction, that also plays an important role in the economy. So this is about the concept which are comes under the macroeconomics. So these are the concept which we have studied under the first chapter. So remember the Great Depression of America, and today's class it is from the first chapter. Okay, so here we will end up with our first chapter. Thank you, students.